A few weeks ago, I watched a video from Gabriel VP, link in the description. He argued that the proper way to use a teleprompter is to read from the script that you set up to scroll at a speed which matches your natural speaking style. He said using a clicker to manually move the text distracts you from what you're saying, which your audience unconsciously picks up. It creates a loss of trust. Let's watch some of his video.
Third area, how do you control the prompter? I know this will create controversy and so many of you will disagree, but I tested this and it works much better after you practice and understand it and the reason behind it. Never, but never control the prompter with a remote control kept in your hand or a foot pedal. Wait, what? I will explain. It's a subtle but so important aspect, hard to detect, but this can break the connection between you and the audience.
I started doing what he says is best, setting up a speed and reading the text, but found it difficult, so settled on using a hand controller like this. Yet even with this, I found using a teleprompter difficult, so I haven't used a teleprompter much because I don't like the results. Now I wonder, maybe Gabriel is right. The problem is I didn't practice enough, didn't try hard enough, so I decided to try again. Unfortunately, I ran into a problem. So I loaded Camera Hub with the teleprompter application, and let's go get this. I'll copy this script. I'll create a new script. I'll just call this practice. And I'll copy my script here. And then you can see it go into the teleprompter over here. Now, I can change things on here. Well, let's just start the script. So I'll start the script here. And now you can see it moving here. So I can change like the font size, vertical margin, and you can see the differences. So I can change the font size. I can change the horizontal margin. Just put this back. I can change the line spacing, right? So I can change all this stuff. And then let me go back to the beginning. But what I can't change, let me start this going again, is I can't change the space between the paragraphs. So wait for the paragraph to end. So like this space right here, I can't change that. So that's fixed so that even if I set the speed of this to be exactly the cadence that I want, it's too long for the interparagraph thing. So I finish and then I'm waiting for the next paragraph to come up and I can't fix it here. Really annoying me. And I wrote Elgato and they wrote me back saying that that yes, many people have complained about it. It's on their list of things to do, but they can't promise when it'll be done, if it will be done, stuff like that. So I thought, I remember programming something in using JavaScript and HTML a while back. I feel like getting into that kind of stuff again, but I figured I'll ask Claude to do it. I'll work with Claude on doing that. And so that's what I did. I worked with Claude to come up with my own little app that would, I could set the paragraph sizing. Oh, I should point out that I went on the internet and I asked Claude, ChatGPT, what are the best Windows teleprompter software applications out there? I downloaded them, I tried them. I couldn't find any of them that had this paragraph setting. There might have been one that might have worked, but it was too funky in other ways. It was just unusable. So anyway, couldn't find any software that worked. Elgato wasn't working. Doesn't sound like they're going to work it. And in an hour, I was able to do it in Claude.AI, and I'll show you. But first, I'm going to set the Elgato. Right now, it's in text mode, using its application, but I'm going to set it to display. So if you set it to display, it just becomes like a secondary monitor, and it does the reversal. So I can just drag anything I want over here, and I can read it. So I'm going to set that in the Elgato software, and then I'm going to get out. So in my new software, this is what it looks like. It took 41 to 47 revisions to get it exactly the way I want it. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to copy the script. I go into this paste script here. I just paste it there, and you can see it comes up here. And then I'll pull the Chrome tab out to make it as small as possible. and then I'm just going to drag it over here, and it still makes it a little bit too big. So I'm going to shrink it some more, put it up here, drag it down the bottom a bit. And I've already experimented and found that speed 148 is my natural cadence. Font 24 is good for me, and then the paragraph is 20, and this is where it's a huge deal. So let's just say I wanted more of a weight between paragraphs. I could just set this to 40, and let's just do a reset, and then you can see that the space between the paragraphs is much higher. And then let's just say go back to like set it at 2, and I'll start it. Now you can see that the space between the paragraphs is pretty small. This is the end of the paragraph, and here's the next paragraph. But again, as I said, 20 works out to be the natural pause I want to put between paragraphs. So now it's working very well. I've been practicing a few times, and yeah, I'm very happy with it. Before I get to my final conclusions, I forgot to show you what it looks like when you're developing in Claude.AI. So, you ask it the question what to do, and it puts the code here, so you can actually try the code over here, tell it what you want to fix, whatever, and just go back and forth. And then when I had the code just the way I wanted it, again, it's about 47 tries, just copy, paste it into a HTML file, and then I could just run that separately from just an Explorer. I just double click on that file. So what are my conclusions? Well, it's interesting to me because there are many things AI can't do. And in fact, one of the scripts I'm working on is about how it can't help you when you have two software companies trying to do things that they won't allow you to do. But what's interesting is that it is a very powerful technology. It's ridiculous to me. Like, how can I, right, after an hour, under an hour with Claude.AI, create an application that's better than the Elgato Teleprompter in an hour, has a feature that it does not have. Now, I shouldn't say better, but it has a feature it doesn't have. So how can Elgato say, hey, well, we're working on it, we'll get to it? I think this is what you're going to see in the future. Companies that don't, put this into their workflow are going to be left behind. Like, what do I need Elgato software for if it can't do what Claude can do with JavaScript in an hour? Now, if Elgato had AI in their code, if their developers were using it, if it was part of it, they could just tell the developers, hey, listen, we need to put paragraph spacing. Some of you work with, get some agents going in AI and get the code going, and let's get it going. They should be able to knock it out pretty quickly. Again, I knocked it out in an hour. Why couldn't they knock it out in an hour? Now, of course, software, they need to do a lot of testing and stuff like that, but there are tools for testing too. So really what's going to happen with AI is it's going to separate companies that embrace it and use it to very quickly fix problems or give users features that they want. They will continue. Those that just stick into the old methods won't. So that's a fascinating thing I learned from this. So anyway, I hope you found this video interesting. Until later.